This is Wilbur, and we're playing Mechabellum. Hey, we got one to add to the 5-round STOMP kind of collection. This is a special one I've been trying to cook up for a while. I've been playing a little bit of the Assault Marksman in 2v2s with some buddies. I like to go for Assault Marksman when we have a good Crawler Mustang opening, and this time I got the Missile Specialist, which is another amazing aggro tool. My opponent's side no is Supply Specialist, and he got the Fang Sledge Start. So when I play Assault Marksman, I go for a really wide start on my marksman placement and kind of make this like sort of pyramid with the Crawlers and Mustangs. And I think what you're trying to do with the Assault Marksman is create as many angles of attack as you can to get into our opponent's towers. So that's what I'm going here. Round 1 you always are going to lose because you have no front line. But round 2 you do get your Assault Marksman, which is going to be a pretty big power spike. And this round I also got a Rhino, so we're really going to be packing in the heat this round. My opponent, I think, takes the Farseer. So my Rhino I put down in the center of the map so that I can move it to both towers depending on when my opponent starts to position his units. I also start a flank on the top left and add a Assault Marksman to the front here. And that takes up about all the money I have. And you'll see my opponent also adds 2 flanking Crawlers here to distract the Marksman, which he might have thought we're just going to continue to be regular Marksman, but ended up being Assault Marksman. I decided to use just 1 Missile Strike this round, taking out this Fang Pack, and unfortunately for this Assault Marksman deployment, there is going to be this Farseer that's going to come in and stop it from doing any real good work. But now with the Assault Marksman and this Rhino in the front, we are going to be breaking in from multiple angles into the tower. So our Rhino here pops the tower. This side would have also gone out. My opponent does have the Electro Mag on his arc lights, so if I was playing my opponent's board here in round 3, I would have clicked that Electro Mag onto those arc lights to start shutting down that Assault Marksman tech. We do get an underground threat. My opponent opts for the additional deployment slot. I take the threat because I'm trying to win as fast as possible, and I use my Missile Strike to eliminate this Fang Pack over here so that the underground threat has free access to the tower. My opponent not taking the underground threat too, I think, was a bit of a mistake. Yes, the additional deployment slot really does add up over time. But I think when you're faced against a guy clearly playing aggro, it's best to take those unit cards. My opponent opts for some air units. He grabs the Phoenix this round, throwing the Phoenix up in the air. Not a bad idea, definitely outranges the Marksman. I would have put this further back if I were him. I add a Crawler deployment over here to help this Marksman not die right away to the Farseer. I think another thing my opponent could have did is just added EMP to the Farseer, deployed a couple more Farseers this round instead of those Phoenixes. I think getting EMP onto your units is important against Assault Marksman if you're not going to go for something like the Hacker counter. So you can see my opponent completely gets ran over by the Assault Marksman plus these underground threat Crawlers. Into the round 4, we get another awesome card for me in the Advanced Power System. Making the Assault Marksman go fast really is important. If you see that card, it's definitely worth picking up. So instead of clicking EMP, my opponent grabs a range enhancement on the arc lights. I think this is maybe just a symptom of playing way too much standard. Like usually you click this tech in standard. So my opponent not adapting to what's going on the board, not thinking very critically about what shuts down the Marksman. So when you EMP the Assault Marksman, they go back to regular Marksman. They have like no HP and they die very quickly. So this round we have another deployment up here to pull the fangs away because I added a set of wasps over here with the mobile beacon to get into this tower. So some of these fangs are going to go up here. I'm also going to add a really nice missile. So I'll zoom in here. If you put a missile right on the line here, it's going to take out this entire pack of sledges. So I ended up doing that. It actually gets the arc light as well. So we get free access to this tower, which is once again going to get us a nice clean round win. My assault marksman always gets there too because of the sledge getting popped by that missile. So you can see those phoenixes not doing too much. My opponent even grabbed the intensive training to try to level those phoenixes. But as soon as that tower goes down, it doesn't matter how many levels that phoenix has. The assault marksmen just do too much damage and are going to take it out. We get another unit drop on round 5 with the big saber tooth. I think that's really hard not to click. I think high-level saber tooths are just way too strong. My opponent grabs the boat and puts it down over here where he thinks the wasps are going to be next round. Finally, my opponent is thinking hard and grabs the electromagnetic shot. But I think it's going to come too late. I put down the saber over here and once again use a missile strike to pop this fang pack so that I get access with my wasp into the tower. My opponent sold out of that farseer up here for some reason. Maybe he wanted a little bit more money to invest in the arc lights. He bought quite a few arc lights this round, I think, buying 2 more. There's another sledge pack that got put down on this side as well in that bubble. So my opponent investing in things that I don't think are the greatest idea, like the sledgehammers. Didn't get the MP right away and went for the range instead. Just a few mistakes. These missile strikes not being bubbled when they should be. Like at the beginning of the ranked game, he could have probably used some bubbles, and that might have helped him too. Another nice missile coming down here, taking out most of that sledge pack. So it's just a story of good use of missile strikes and the wasps kind of winning back to back these 2 rounds. And then the assault marksman getting all the cleanup credit, doing all that high damage to ground targets, and then this level 2 overlord not standing a chance with the debuff, giving me a really clean round 5 win. So I think this kind of start is viable right now. If we look at the battlefield again, this is kind of my tried and true method of deploying assault marksmen. You make this wedge formation by your towers, and then you kind of trickle the assault marksmen in on the flanks and in the front line, and you're trying to get to a tower as fast as possible. And wasps are usually also part of this build. So if your opponent's going to go heavy ground to stop the marksman, the wasp get opened up a little bit. I think the missile specialist pairs super nicely with this combo. I think you can also sell out of the Mustangs to get some more money if you need it. And you can double tech your assault marksman if you do that with something like quick reload or elite. It's a lot of fun options. It's really fun in 2v2. Getting those fast wins on your side of the board so you can help your partner who's maybe playing more standard, popping that opponent's tower. You can even do things in 2s like mobile beacon. You know, if you have a flank up here, your opponent starts to deal with it, just mobile beacon it to your opponent's side or your partner's side of the board. A lot of fun things you can do with assault marksman because they move pretty fast. So hope you enjoyed a different type of aggro. You don't always see the assault marksman being used. It's a tricky tech to get out of. I think another fun thing to do is add the fang spawning tech to the marksman, so you can do that as kind of a 1-2 punch, and then maybe tech your fangs with something like energy shield. Yeah, I think it's a little more expensive, but I don't like to play long games. I like to play short games where I take advantage of all the early rounds to knock my opponent's HP down. So assault marksman is definitely something I don't always get to multiple tech, but I got the loadout for it. I've actually dropped range and added a few other things. Some of these are for the assault marksman, but things like quick reload are also decent into the phantom ray right now. But pretty soon we're not going to be in this meta anymore. We're going to have the new patch here after the new year. So this might be my last upload till we start to get into that new patch. So we'll see you guys in the new year, and I'm excited to see where Mechabellum goes. See you guys. Bye for now.
We have quite the selection for you here. 2 Mechabellum videos just for you. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like this video. Watch out for flanks coming your way.